Friday. I am so excited you're here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jasmine Bryant. This is Fear No Video. I am your video coach helping network marketers, coaches, entrepreneurs, all business owners trying to. Why am I hearing this all different places? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on. This is the problem with having 25 pages open. There we go. Okay. So this is live, right? This is what happens. Sometimes you have tech hiccups. You just fix it, figure it out, move the heck on. So that if you don't get anything else out of this live today, that's what I want you to take away. Shit happens, you pick it up and you just move on. So we will go back. I'm Jasmine Bryant, video coach for entrepreneurs, anyone who needs to feel more comfortable on camera, because when you're visible, you make money and you don't want to be the world's best kept secret. And one of the things that keeps people from being on camera and being comfortable on camera, it's the nerves, the fear. And to help with that, I have a very special guest. Her name is Naomi Hall, and she's going to work with us on some breath and breathing work. She is the owner of the Recovering Educator, and her deal is helping you bust stress. Don't you love that? All right, so let's bring Naomi up. Hey, Naomi, welcome.
Hey, thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so excited that you are here because, people are stressed out anyway. The
Mhm,
holidays stress you out,
mhm.
even if you're not trying to be on camera. But folks being on camera, they get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Um, and so before we start, really quickly, just anyone who is in um, a Facebook group, we're streaming in a lot of places, maybe about 9 or 10 places. So if you're in a Facebook group, then I need you to click the pinned comment that says, click this link to allow me to see who's chatting. And the link there is chat.restream.io/FB. And that's because of the rules that Facebook has. We need to make sure that I can see who you are, Naomi can see who you are, and we'd love for you to ask us questions and chime in and let us know what lands for you. So, so without further ado, Naomi, tell us a little bit about what you do and who you serve.
Sure. So, educators hire me to help them get out of the stress and overwhelm and really take back control of their lives so that they can stay in the career that they are called to. Because education is a stressful field. However, everything that I teach applies to anybody who's experiencing stress. And I really teach simple techniques. I don't teach anything complicated, anything fancy. I help you really build the foundation that allows you to live your life and manage the stress and for you to be in control rather than the stress. Because I have been the girl that was in the bathroom at work, sobbing, holding on to like the sink, and just tears streaming just because of just so much going on that I couldn't control the emotion, the overwhelm, the anxiety. And I really had to fight back on my own to get to a place where I'm no longer the girl sobbing at 10 o'clock at night because of everything I need to do and not enough time to do it. And I wanted to provide that for educators so that they could be able to do their jobs well, enjoy their jobs, and enjoy their lives.
Oh, I love that. That is powerful. I mean, educators are overworked and undervalued.
Mhm,
And you can
definitely.
see how the stress can just go from like here to here
Yeah,
in a flash.
yes. And you
In a
feel very out of control.
yeah. Oh, well, thank you for doing what you do because educators need it for sure.
Yes.
And folks who are nervous to go on camera need it too
Mhm,
because
yes,
it can be very, very, very stressful, very nerve wracking. That is again one of
absolutely.
the biggest things that
Mhm,
keeps folks from going and showing up for their business is the fear of looking stupid, the
Mhm.
fear of not knowing what they're talking about, what they're doing,
Yeah.
and, we won't even go into, like, the tech and all of that, but the camera can be scary. So,
Absolutely.
we're gonna help unscare
Mhm.
some folks, alright?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so you have, like, your 6 foundations of stress management.
5.
I'd love oh, 5. Oh, there are 5. I'm sorry.
5.
I just add stuff. What can I say?
And maybe you're giving me some vision for 2024. Maybe I need to add a
I
6th.
think so. I think so. So walk us through some of these, stress management
Sure.
tips.
So these are really they are basic foundations and they almost can seem too simple. Like, come on, Naomi, you gotta give me something more. But if you are like a house, if a house doesn't have a solid foundation, it's going to crack and crumble. It's not going to
Mhm.
stand strong. And if you don't have a solid foundation, you will crack and crumble and fall apart. So, first foundation is movement. You have to have regular movement, exercise, find joyful movement. Okay. Because then you're more likely to do it.
Mhm.
That is just as much for your body as it is for your mind. It's both. And so I started working out mostly for my body. I continue working out for my mind and my stress. And when I don't, I notice the stress. And then my second foundation is nutrition. You have got to fuel your body well in order for you to be able to think well. And so that means prioritizing protein, fruits and vegetables, fiber filled carbs, and mostly whole foods. And
Mhm.
just think of what happens when you're on a sugar crash.
Mm. Yeah.
It, it's not pretty, right?
Not pretty.
And that's all related to what you're eating. So you've got to move, you've got to eat right, you need to hydrate. Like you have got to mhm. Yep. When we're dehydrated, we go into a brain fog and we're not able to think clearly. And so the problem is movement, nutrition, hydration, we don't realize how big of an effect they have on us until we start to make changes and see how good we can feel. We're like, oh my goodness, I didn't know life could be like this. We just assume that what we're experiencing is normal, and it's
Yeah.
not, you know? So, movement, nutrition, hydration, sleep.
Mm.
Like, we underestimate the power of sleep
Yeah.
and how important it is. Like, when you look at the difference, so they've done studies. One, the most successful people in the world, like, I mean, super successful people at the top of their field. You can go sports, music, politics, finance. These people are getting 8 hours of sleep a night. Now,
Oh,
if
boy.
these people are getting 8 hours of sleep a night, I don't really have an excuse. Because it's not like they're living a simple life. Like they're managing a lot of things. But studies have shown that the difference between 7 hours of sleep a night and 8 hours of sleep a night is a standard deviation in your IQ.
Wow.
That's significant. So you've got to focus on sleep. And my recommendation there is don't jump. Like if you're just getting 4 hours of sleep a night, one, you're just surviving. Because like people are like, I do fine on, my 3, 4 hours of sleep a night. I'm like, no, you survive. Think of how good you could do if you were getting the 7 hours of sleep a night. So don't try to jump straight to 7 hours. Add 1 minute of sleep a night. Like go to bed 1 minute earlier for a week. And then the next week, add another minute. Make it small, achievable increments. And you'll be amazed at the difference it makes. And then you've got to work on mindset. And that's really where the breathing comes in that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
is you have got to work on your mind. And so I deal a lot of in that area with my clients of like we have to lay these foundations, but then we've also got to work on the mindset of what are the stories I'm telling myself? And a lot of our anxiety and stress comes from the stories in our head that we've told ourselves that aren't necessarily true or just plain aren't helpful.
Yeah.
And so we've really got to work on that piece. And the breathing helps us with that.
Okay. And I love you talk about mindset because that is one thing that we do. We tell ourselves horrible stories. I
Hmm.
have some people who, I've worked with in the past who will say, "Well, no, I can't do any video because I don't look right. I'm not
Mm,
thin enough. I'm not tall enough.
mhm.
I don't have the right clothes. I don't know how to, just pick
Yeah.
something." And it's there in their brain taking up rent-free space, you
Mhm.
know? And it's like, "No,
Yeah.
let's move that out because you are you, and it doesn't matter, you know, it none of it matters,
Mm-mm.
your message is what matters."
Mhm.
So, I mean, you're showing up sick, you know,
Yeah.
because your message is important.
Get my tea.
Yeah. So let's talk about, breathing and why it's important. Oh, I
Mhm.
mean, besides, living. But then
Right.
and then, if you could walk us through an exercise or 2, that would be amazing.
Sure. Absolutely. So this this has just been an amazing tool for me when I first learned it. I started learning breath techniques to help my students with test taking anxiety. So this is something that works for anybody. I used it with high performing students who
Mhm.
were like in AP level classes, so high achievers, high anxiety. I also used it with my struggling students, the ones who had very few resources, who came in from very traumatic backgrounds, and I used it with them. And the thing is, you're like, teenagers, really? Yes. Like they would beg for it. They'd be like, please, Dr. Hall, please, can we breathe? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So over the years, I've done more research. I am constantly learning. I'm reading a book right now called The Language of Breath by Jesse Coomer. I've interviewed him twice and he is amazing. He's an expert in breath work. So, what I didn't realize is that our breathing sends a message to our unconscious brain, which is really where our stress and anxiety lie,
Mhm.
and can actually tell our brain, you're not safe. You need to be worried. There's a threat. So, I want you to just put a hand on your chest and a hand on your abdomen
Okay.
and just breathe. Just breathe and notice which hand is moving.
My hand over my heart.
Okay. So I also now want you to think about when you are stressed and anxious, how does your breath feel?
It's probably I probably don't breathe.
Okay, one, we stop breathing. Yep. And we also get very shallow and in our chest. You think,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Excuse me. When we breathe shallow and with our chest, we're communicating to our brain that we're not safe. And so the
Ah.
way we're breathing can actually increase our stress and anxiety. And I was
Huh.
like, oh my goodness, because this
Wow.
isn't where we're supposed to be breathing. We're
Right.
supposed to be breathing down from our diaphragm, doing
Yeah.
belly breaths. So now I want you to place your hands again, but focus on breathing from your diaphragm and doing belly breaths.
Okay, I see the difference. I feel the
Mhm.
difference.
Right?
It's because
And
I
we
don't
also
sleep.
and you also want to breathe through your nose. So mouth chest breathing tends towards anxiety and stress. Nose
Okay.
belly breathing is much calmer.
Okay. Yeah, I see the difference.
So, just taking a few moments to notice where you're breathing can make such a difference. So, I just want to
Mm,
encourage everybody when you are feeling anxious, just those two hands
okay.
and just breathe. And that can calm you down because you want to be breathing mostly from your abdomen, doing those belly breaths. Now, I'm going to give you two different breathing exercises that you can do that will really help.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Oh, where did the balloons come from? That's awesome.
I don't know. There's something different going on in like Zoom and that. Like when you give, I don't know, when I give a thumbs up, like things like pop up and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I
I
did.
don't
So
know. I love it.
we have balloons. It's all these updates, you never know what's happening. So first breath technique is called box breathing.
Okay.
I absolutely love this one. It's actually used by the Navy SEALs when they go to do a mission. So this is going to be your pre-camera breath because it helps focus in your mind because when you're getting stressed and anxious, you really can't think. you're in your fight or flight brain. And that's when you step on stage and all of a sudden your mouth's dry. You can't breathe. You need to go to the bathroom and you have no clue what you're going to say. Like all of a sudden your words are gone. We don't want you to feel like that when
Yeah.
you hit record live, whatever it is, for your video. We want you to be able to be calm and thinking and clear so you can deliver your message because, like Jasmine said, you have an important message to deliver. So your box breath, it's going to focus in your mind, focus in your energy, use it anytime you're going to speak, any big meeting you're going to, any difficult conversation you have to have. So here's how it works. You literally breathe around a box. So you breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, breathe out for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and you breathe around that box 4, 5 times. Set your timer, do it for a minute or 2, and you'll notice your anxiety come down. Your brain will be able to focus, and you'll be able to deliver an amazing presentation. So,
Nice.
you ready to walk through it?
Yeah.
All right. So, just lean back in your chair, back supported by your chair. Just a nice deep breath in and out. And then we're going to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And go back to your regular breathing pattern.
Okay.
How'd that feel?
Well, I'm a doofus, right? Because I breathed in really fast. I'm like, wait. You have to slow down. Which is probably, I mean, I can't be the only one who's done that, right?
No. The first few times you do it, you're like, oh, wait. You're like learning to control your breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. And I do I do some breath work um just like before like meditation and things like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And one of them is like Dr. Wiles, his breathing, and I forget the numbers. There's like an
Hmm.
8 and 9 in there and a
Yeah.
whole bunch of things. And like if I can't sleep or something like that, for the
Mm-hmm.
4 hours that I get. So I'll do that, but I do the same thing where it's like, oh wait, I'm breathing too fast. I
Yep.
have to slow myself down, and so that probably means I need to breathe more,
Mm.
right?
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, but it's amazing. I know for some people the box breath is really uncomfortable at first because of those holds. And we're not used to like consciously holding our breath. A lot of us unconsciously hold our breath when
Yeah,
we're stressed, when we're anxious. I do it when I work out, when I'm training,
yeah,
and my master is always like breathe. I'm like, oh right, right,
yeah. Oh, good. It's not just me. I do that when I box,
yes,
and they're
hmm
like, okay, you have to breathe. Or when I'm kickboxing, especially,
yes,
like, you
yeah,
really need to breathe on the
hmm yeah,
kick.
yeah. I do martial arts, and I'm like, that's why you ki. It controls your breath. That sound that
Yeah,
you hear martial artists make, and even in like boxing, like you have a
yeah,
yeah, which is
yeah.
supposed to help your breathing, but when you're holding your breath, you're
Yeah, I mean, that's where your power comes from.
yeah.
It doesn't come from your shoulders, it comes from your breath,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
It's all about
Mm,
focusing your energy. So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
so
But yeah,
amazing.
the
So, number 2.
okay, number 2. So this is my go-to breath.
Okay,
This is like in my back pocket anytime I am stressed and I just automatically do it. It's a relaxation breath. It's on a 4-6 count. There's no hold. So the
okay,
key with this is that you're going to do a shorter inhale and a longer exhale. What that longer exhale does, which you can do longer than 6, But we'll start with 4-6, and then you can just play around with it. The key is that the exhale is longer because it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest. So it tells your
Okay.
brain, you are safe, everything's good, you can relax. And so anytime I feel, because I feel my stress right here, I
Mhm.
feel it's getting tight, my breath is shallow, the muscles right here like are going like this.
Yeah.
This is what I use. So you're going to
Okay.
breathe in for a count of 4 and
Okay.
out for a count of 6.
Excellent. And I hope you guys at home who are watching, I hope you're doing this with us. And if you're catching the replay, just, put in the chat replay, I'm breathing. And
Mm,
if you're watching live, I see a couple of you are on live. Number one, say hey so we know that you're here.
yeah.
But then also, let us know what's landing for you and let us know if any of this is new or if you've been doing it or if you're doing it right now. So just pop that in the chat for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
This one I do not do before speaking because I don't want to be too calm. You want to be at the right activation level. So the box breathing works really well before something like that because it doesn't calm you too much. It focuses you. So I always
Okay.
want to make sure we're at the activation level we need to be at for whatever we're doing. This is when you're just stressed out. You're anxious. Maybe you're thinking about the fact that you need to go on camera and you're getting worked up about it. So
Okay.
again, lean back in your chair, get comfortable. You can close your eyes if you want, relax your gaze, and just take a nice deep breath in through the nose and breathe it out. And you're going to breathe in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And go back to your regular breath.
Okay.
How you feel with that one?
I can definitely see how that would you do that and it'll calm you down and
Mhm.
I might try that before I go to sleep one of these days.
Yeah, that's a fantastic. I love that one if I'm struggling with sleep. There's another one that's specifically for sleep. That's a 4-7-8. You breathe in for 4, hold for 7, out for 8. I don't like to count that much when I'm trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I go for the 4-6.
Yeah. No, I love that. And Nora, she's watching and she's breathing.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. And then there was one more. Oh, if you struggle with the box breathing, another option is to do triangle breathing, which
Okay.
is we take off a side of the box and we make it into a triangle. You breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. So it takes out one of the holds. So some
Okay.
people find that one a little more comfortable. And it is
Okay.
something that you can adjust the counts based on your own kind of lung capacity and comfort. I sometimes prefer like a 5 count on my box and triangle. Um, on my relaxation breath, I'll do maybe a 4-8 or a 4-9. So really it's on the relaxation one, it's making sure your exhale is long and your
Okay.
inhale is short. On the box and the triangle, it's making sure you have the same count on all sides of your shape.
Okay. That sounds easy enough to do. So
Yeah,
let us know in the chat what you guys think about the box breathing, the triangle, and the four,
4,
six.
6. Mhm.
I was trying to recall if I had a different name. I'm like, what is it?
Relaxation.
Relaxation. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So, Naomi, how can people get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So, would you like me to can I type in the chat?
Yeah, and I do have your put your contact info in, and I have your links up too because you have gifts for the
I
folks who are
do.
watching.
I do. Okay, so I'm not seeing how I can here, I can put it in the
Oh, maybe you
chat.
can't.
I can chat you.
Yes, yes. Clearly, I'm a liar because I'm like, yeah, sure you can. but no, you
The
can't.
other people can, but I can't. Here's my email, therecoveringeducator@gmail.com. And then on Instagram, which is where I'm most active right now, um, I have a couple different accounts, but I'm going to drive you to the one where I am most active.
Okay, perfect.
Naomi Hall Fit Educator. Because I do the recovering educator, but I also talk with you about movement and nutrition and mindset, and they all kind of go together. So those
Yeah.
are all places you can find me. And let me tell you a little bit about the free gifts I have for you. As I was
Yes,
telling
amazing.
Jasmine before we came on, I was like, well, I was going to give one gift, but what's better than one? Two.
Right?
So, and it's Christmas time, right? So I love giving. So one of them is my 6 free guided breathing apps. They're not my apps. I have gone in and tested these apps and found ones that are free because there's nothing worse than a free app that is not actually free. That
Yeah,
just annoys me. I'm like, come on,
right.
really?
Sure.
So I went in and I tested these out. They are my absolute favorite. So if you're really wanting to try this out, but you're like, I don't know, I need someone to help me. These are perfect. My absolute favorite one is Breathwork. It's actually designed for children, but I love how it's
Huh.
designed because it has visuals, it has audio, and it explains to you what that breath is doing and how it works. So that is in that gift, the free apps. It's fabulous. And there are 5 others in there that work well as well. Just that one happens to be my favorite, but I know everybody has a different preference. So I found
Yeah,
6 for you. And they
right.
all have different tools in there that will help you learn guided breathing. My biggest recommendation is that you practice guided breathing in a calm situation first so that you're then able to apply it when you're more anxious and stressed. So before you go to bed at night, practice a little bit for a few minutes. When you go to sit down to eat, practice some breathing. Added benefit is it will help your digestion.
Ah,
So,
look at that.
yeah. And then the other free gift I have for you is my 5 foundations to fight stress. These are the 5 foundations that I have had to work at, that I continue to work at to keep myself from being a stressed out. Honestly, when I'm stressed out, like I am a puddle on the floor, like I'm just an emotional wreck.
Oh, wow.
So it's not that I don't get stressed anymore, but it's that I catch it sooner and I use my tools faster. And I have a solid foundation now that really helps keep me a little bit more level rather than being on that roller coaster of emotions of like you're up and you're down and you're falling apart and like everything is just overwhelming. You just
Yeah.
feel like you can't keep up with life. So I give
Mm.
you my 5 foundations that we talked about a little bit here. And I give you some tips of what you can do to help you with that foundation.
Nice. Well, that sounds like really amazing gifts. Naomi, thank you so much for your time. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for being with us and giving us some amazing breath work tips to calm our nerves before we go on
Mhm.
camera and to manage all the stress that we have in our lives that can, really knock us for a loop and keep us
Mhm.
from doing the things that we want to do for ourselves and for our businesses.
Yes.
So, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. This was fantastic.
Oh yeah, this is a lot of fun. We will have to do this again. And you guys, again, just if you want to get in touch with Naomi, and you do, then all of her contact info is in the chat, and I'll also put it in the description of the videos as well, so that way you don't have to go searching. All right, guys. So we will see you next week for another live Fear No Video event. Um, although maybe it's almost Christmas. Maybe we shouldn't do it on next Friday. Well, let's noodle that. Let's noodle that a little bit. All right, guys, have a great weekend, a fantastic weekend. Go create something amazing. And even if it's not amazing, create it anyway. All right, do it scared and do Naomi's breathing, and you won't be
Mhm.
scared anymore. All right,
Yeah.
guys, have a great one. Bye.